Hello everybody and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. This is not an endorsement, but by God do I need some coffee. 4 a.m. I got to sleep last night. 4 a.m. Let's get on with news. Alright, apologies before we get into the news. A little bit of housekeeping as usual. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've not done already, hit that notification bell so you know when we've got live of our videos. Got some live streams coming up this week, got some more videos coming out this week. Lots going on the show. But first up, let's talk about some rumours in the YouTube world. So, I don't know if these rumours are said to be true or not, it's just what I'm hearing on the grapevine. But remember that video that I spoke about last week or the week before? The fittest cycling YouTuber?
Chris Pritchard.
Well, I think that sparked a little bit of competition, and I've got a feeling that there could be a YouTuber's race coming along on Zwift at some point. So question is to you, which cycling YouTubers would you like to see in that race if it was to happen? And who do you think could win it? I guess it depends on the parkour of the actual race and the people that are into it. But if the rumours are true and that's going to happen, it could be an exciting little race to watch. It could be way more exciting than the Ineos Grenadiers race that we saw. In fact, it'll be more exciting than any other Zwift race the world has ever seen. Remember Vegan versus Cam? That was huge. And imagine 10, 20 YouTubers doing it. Now, one YouTuber I feel that should be in it is, of course, Ben Foster, especially after he called Cameron Jeffers out on a recent video.
Right, so Tom was so upset that he got his ass kicked on Zwift the other night. He emailed the guy we know to see if they'll send him a virtual Tron bike. Now, a Tron bike is like, it's like glow in the dark, it's beautiful, yeah? It just gives you a few like aero gains, nothing major, honestly. It's cool as you like. If you want to know more about the Tron bike, I know a guy called Cameron Jeffers who might help you out with it. Love you, Cam, sorry, mate.
Oh, mate, that's wonderful.
Big fan though, Cam, you know that, you know I love you.
Wow, even the cycling GK is getting involved in having a dig at Cameron Jeffers. Obviously, all in jest. But it would be awesome to see Ben Foster, because I would love to see how well he went against someone like Cam, against someone like me. If there was ever going to be a cycling YouTube race, I wonder if he'd be part of it. Maybe we could get everybody to comment on his last video saying, go and check out Chris. In fact, do this. Head over to his channel now. The latest video that he's posted, just please leave a message saying, Pritch has got a message for you. Pritch has got a message for you. And then he'll come over to this point and then I'll go, oi, Ben Foster, with your 500,000 subscribers. I'm calling you out now to come and race with some of the best YouTubers, but some of the best YouTubers the world has ever seen, some of the fittest cycling YouTubers the world has ever seen. Are you ready to take on that challenge? Dare you take on that challenge? I'm calling you out, and if you lose, you have to give me your channel, or something like that. I don't know, but do it. Send a message, and we'll try and get him across, and we'll try and bait him out, and we'll try and get him involved in a race if it was to ever happen. I don't know if it was. But talking of Cameron Jeffers, right? Breaking news on his channel, he dropped a bloody video.
For me, routine is key. This is why I wake up exactly 59 minutes before the sun rises every morning. On this particular day, that time is 7 a.m. This allows me to get out of bed, sit by my window and listen to the morning sound of the birds tweeting for exactly 9 minutes. I then go downstairs for my morning meditation. I sit on my dining room table when doing this to make me feel elevated from the ground. This helps me establish the alpha mentality of being above everyone else and sets me up to dominate the day.
Now I'm sure you've already seen it, but link is down in the description. In fact, the link is down in the description to Ben's latest video as well as Cameron's latest video, but you've probably already seen them both. Head over to Ben's, leave him a message saying Pritch has called you out over on his channel on this video. In fact, while I'm talking YouTube, while I'm talking Cameron Jeffers, I may as well leave a link down in the description for our stereo channels, both Cameron's and mine. We've been doing a few stereo broadcasts, I guess they're called.
Suddenly thinking, right, Zwift racing is, it's so relatable. So like when I'm watching you, you can see your heart rate's up at 180, you can see your power's at 400 watts, you can see that, you know, you're smashing it. And then I'm suddenly thinking, right, I know how hard 180 beats per minute feels.
We have got podcasts still coming. There is one coming on its way very shortly, but it's just a different way of chatting, of creating content, of just talking our minds and speaking our minds live to an audience. So if you want to get involved in that, go and sign up to Stereo down in the link below, and you'll be notified if you follow us when we go live with our next Stereo chat, and you can get involved with it. Right, okay, YouTube news done, self-promotion news done. Let's get on with some real cycling news. So yesterday we broke the news that Mathieu van der Poel, Alpecin-Fenix, had been pulled out of the UAE Tour after one of their staff members had tested positive for COVID-19. And in yesterday's video I mentioned not only Mathieu van der Poel but the team as a whole. What would their plans be now after they don't have this little block of training in their legs before they're heading into classic season? Well, it turns out Mathieu van der Poel is heading back to Europe to get ready for Het Nieuwsblad. So over on Wielerflits, can someone in the Netherlands let me know if I'm pronouncing that right? Because it's such a nice thing to say. Wielerflits. Anyway, over on Wielerflits, Nico Dick updated us with some good news. That Mathieu van der Poel, the winner of the opening stage of the UAE Tour, does not appear to be close contact of the positively tested staff member. This is obviously translated, don't forget. So, yeah. Clearly, he hasn't come into contact with the person who received the positive test over in the Tour of the UAE, which meant that Van der Poel, although not officially confirmed that he was able to go home, but according to a source from Wielerflits, that would be very soon that he would receive a confirmation letter allowing him to travel back to the Netherlands in preparation for Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. So there you have it. Mathieu van der Poel is heading back to the Netherlands in preparation for Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. Now, I think that's one of the races he's never done. Is his name on that winner's trophy? I'm probably going to say yeah. I'm going to say yeah. That's my prediction. That he has come back. He is now on the start list, and everybody who thought they had a chance Omloop Het Nieuwsblad are in for a rude awakening when he turns up in fine form, in fine fettle, ready to sock it to them. But as ever, leave your predictions down below. Do you think Mathieu van der Poel is going to head back to Europe and carry on where he left off from the UAE Tour with another win at Omloop Het Nieuwsblad? Who knows? Who knows? But leave your predictions down below. Next up in the news, a story that we covered back in June of 2019 with the alleged reports of sexual harassment and abuse from Healthmate Director Sportief Patrick van Gansen. So back in June of 2019, there were various sexual harassment reports made against Van Gansen, and the UCI Disciplinary Commission have finally come to a verdict finding him guilty of workplace sexual harassment, and he now faces nearly a 3-year ban from the sport. Over on Cycling News, they report that Van Gansen has been handed a partially retroactive suspension of 2 years and 7 months by the UCI Disciplinary Commission following a guilty verdict in the Healthmate Cycle Life abuse case that shocked the professional cycling world in 2019. The UCI issued a statement and the decision of the UCI Disciplinary Commission regarding Patrick Van Gansen. And in it, the UCI say the UCI Disciplinary Commission confirmed the appreciation of the UCI Ethics Commission and reached the finding that violations of the UCI Code of Ethics had been committed. The UCI Disciplinary Commission therefore ordered that Mr Van Gansen be suspended from exercising any function in cycling for a period starting retroactively from 16th of April 2020 and extending until 31st of December 2022. As a further measure and condition for the issuance of a new licence, after the period of suspension has been served, Mr Van Gansen shall follow a course addressing the matter of workplace sexual harassment to be provided by a recognised professional institute. The UCI welcomes the decision, which sets an important precedent with respect to sexual harassment. It is essential for athletes' welfare that they trust the institutions and feel free to denounce harassment in all forms. The UCI shall endeavour to support all persons wishing to report such actions, whether they are victims or witness behaviour which is not compliant with our federation's rules of ethics. Boom! Van Gansen, boom! In your face, dickhead. That's what you get for being a knobhead. Why not just ban him for life from the sport? Surely that's a better deterrent, and surely no one is going to want to work with him. No one is going to want to employ him in a women's team. Or do we think he's served his time, he's repented for his actions, and he should be free to carry on and come on. You can't help thinking, put in the same situation, he'd probably do the same again. I don't know. I don't know. But leave your comments down below on this one. What do you think? Is the ban enough? Do you think there should have been a harsher punishment towards Van Gansen? What do you think of him in general? The fact that he was put in a position of power and he abused that power to sexually harass women on the cycling team. And it must be very, very difficult as a woman, as a rider, to speak out about that. It must be so hard to be in that position, to know that this person has the power to allow you to go to a race, to actually participate in a race, and if he feels like he's not getting something out of that deal, then he will pull you from that race and not allow you to further your career by racing and taking your career to the next level. The mind boggles. The mind boggles. But leave your comments down below on what you think to that knob, to Patrick Van Gansen. Leave them down below. Next up, let's talk UAE Tour Stage 3 has just finished, and it was a mountaintop finish. Well, I say a mountain. Is it a mountain? Or was it just a very, very steep hill? I'm not too sure. But the riders for Stage 3 were riding to the summit, Jebel Hafit, which is just over 1,000 meters of climbing. It was a pan-flat day up until that point. With 42 kilometers to go, two riders were still out front. Tony Gallopin and Thomas de Gent were the solo breakaway artists, and it was down to Deceuninck Quickstep around 40 kilometers to go to start pinning that lead back. Eventually, once they burnt through all their reserves, it was down to Team UAE Emirates to get on the front and start smashing it again, bringing that gap down, setting up Tadej Pogacar for that final climb. And then once they burnt through their reserves, it was the turn of Ineos Grenadiers to sit on the front and set it up perfectly for Adam Yates to go off the front. But it was the American Sepp Kuss who would start to rip that front group apart, digging and digging and digging, trying to attack, trying to drop as many riders as he could. The only two riders that were able to stay with him was, of course, Adam Yates and Tadej Pogacar. But unfortunately, after a devastating attack from Yates, there was only one man that could stay with him, and that was the 2020 Tour de France champion. Yates would then pull Pogacar all the way to the top of the climb, and coming in to the finish on the slight downhill before the finish line, Tadej Pogacar, well, it was a masterclass in sprinting. Allowed that gap to open up between him and Yates, started to drive in that gap when Yates wasn't looking. By the time Yates could react, it was too little, too late. Pogacar sealed the victory on Stage 3 of the UAE Tour. So as you can see, the GC now looks like this. Tadej Pogacar extending his lead. Simon Yates moving up 3 places, 43 seconds down on Pogacar. João Almeida drops down a place into third, now 1 minute and 3 seconds behind. Chris Harper, who was struggling up that final climb, is now down to 1 minute and 43 behind the leader. And Nilsson Paulis looking really good in 5th place, 1 minute and 45 down. For such a barren and uninspiring venue to hold a race, that stage was absolutely brilliant. Really, really, really rooting for Adam Yates there. He was digging, he was trying, he was pushing, he was doing everything he could, but to no avail. He could not drop Tadej Pogacar. Listen, Pogacar looked like he was going to crack every now and again, but there just wasn't, I don't think there was enough of those steep parts of that climb that Yates needed. Yates looked in impeccable form though, which is, I guess it's great for the season going forward. But leave your comments down below. Did you see the stage? Have I just spoilt it for you? If not, and you've watched the highlights, what did you think to the stage? Cracking race for such a boring race every now and again from the UAE Tour. Leave your comments down below. And then finally in the news, it's that time of the week again when we hand the reins over to Laura from the Peloton Brief as she answers some of those questions coming in about the professional world of cycling. And this week, we find out what it takes to get riders to and from a race. Take it away, Laura.
Hey Chris, this week for a popular Mythbuster segment on your show, I am taking a question from Will Spence 5. Will Spence asked, how much time throughout a year is spent in transit to and from races, and how is it organized? Well, Will, as you can imagine, it is many, many moving parts when you're trying to get an entire team to a race, mainly from different locations. So let's start with the staff. So the staff of the team will generally start their travel to a race from a service course, or from, most of them will from similar. So you're looking at your mechanics and your soigneurs. A lot will go to the Central Service Course. These are in different locations all over Europe. You've got some in Belgium, some teams are in Spain, some teams are in Italy, and that's where the bus lives, the cars live, etc. So you'll start with the staff. Soigneurs will go there, pack the cars, get everything ready for the races. Mechanics will go, pack the trucks with the bikes. And at that point, those people will then drive to the race. When you look at the riders, yeah, you're flying in 7 or 8 riders from all different locations around Europe. Generally, you've got somebody that works on the team that the majority of their job will literally be as a travel coordinator. So what they're doing all the time is booking flights, booking trains, booking travel. Once the riders land, it's a variety of pickups. Maybe if there's a bunch of riders that are coming in at the same time, the bus will pick them up. If it's one rider, maybe it's just a car. Usually the directors fly in the same way as the riders. And usually it's a day or two before the race this year. And last year it's been a bit more difficult and a bit more time consuming. With less flights, there has been a bit more of like, you know, fly to Paris to there to somewhere else just to sort of try to get anywhere because there aren't as many, you know, A to B flights from small airports. But generally you're looking at a day before a day or two before the race, and then the day after the race to get home. So at any given race, you're tacking on 2 extra travel days to accommodate for the racing. So if somebody does, you know, 3 one-day races, that means that they actually are spending 9 days on the road. Clearly, when you're at a Grand Tour, you only have to fly in once and fly out once, hopefully. So, thanks.
Boom, and there you go. Now you know. Thank you once again, Laura, for coming into the show and bringing some education, bringing some real-world knowledge of professional cycling, because God knows I don't know anything. Anyway, if you've got any questions for Laura, link is down in the description to the Peloton Brief Instagram account. Head over there, ask her some questions, and hopefully they'll get featured on the show in the coming weeks. All that's left for me to say now is thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you want to stay abreast of all the latest news from the cycling world. If you've disliked the video for whatever reason, in fact, leave your comments down below this time. Let me know why you don't like the video. What more can be done to make this more entertaining for you? What is this show missing that would just take it to that next level? I'm open for criticism, constructive criticism, right? And I would love to get your feedback on what we can do to make it just that little bit better. You stay awesome, I'll stay awesome, and we'll see. Thought someone was at the door. We'll see each other on the next one. Ta-ra for now.